this place. We are just outside of the town of San Ignacio. Just 2.5, maybe 2 hours southeast of Guerrero Negro, which is where we were for the 4 days before this. Guerrero Negro was just a stop that we made to kind of catch up on things. This is kind of an oasis place. There's groundwater that comes out and then kind of forms this river that flows into the lagoon, the San Ignacio Lagoon. And that's also where, it's one of the lagoons where the gray whales come in winter and raise their babies. This place was pretty damaged by a recent hurricane. One of the other campgrounds by the water like this hasn't even opened yet. I mean, you can see all this debris still piled up, all this debris over here. It's more rustic than it used to be, and it was already kind of rustic before. We stayed here once in 2016, I believe, just one night. But today's Marlene's birthday, so we came here because we wanted to find a place with a decent restaurant. Guerrero Negro is not necessarily like a scenic town. It's kind of an industrial town. It's where the salt mine is. It's just a convenience spot, and it's the first spot where things are getting a little cheaper. Here we paid 250 pesos last night, which is kind of interesting because when we first came in, our friends Andrew and Courtney, they went out, asked the owner how much. He first said 150, and they said, okay, we're friends, and then he said 250, which we assume was like, oh, 250 for both. But then he charged us 250 each. No services at all. The only nice thing is that it's right next to the water, but because of that, very buggy. Woke up at 4 in the morning last night to kill mosquitoes that came inside. So today we're gonna leave. We're gonna go into town, closer to town, to another campground that we can easily walk. From here to walk into town is like a mile on the road. So not exactly a convenient place to walk into town for dinner and then walk back. So we're going to El Padrino. This place is called Camping Patates. We're gonna stay at least one more night in San Ignacio for Marlene's birthday today. Maybe leave tomorrow and make our way over to possibly Santa Rosalia or Mulaje. We'll see. And then we're just stone's throw away from Baja de Concepcion, which is a highlight of anybody's Baja trip. If you guys come down this far south, definitely budget a couple of nights for Baja de Concepcion. There's a lot of birds in the water here. We saw coots, we saw some cranes and egrets. Makes sense that they're here because of all the water and all the bugs. A lot of food to eat here. We also let the cats loose here. Should we take some of this for kitty litter? Help me?
It's not kitty litter, it's a bed.
Yeah. He's helping rebuild this campsite.
Yeah.
And also last night we had to strategically position the car so Starlink could point to a gap between the trees, which we still had dropouts, but it worked fairly well. But because we ran the fan for so long and then we had the Starlink on till like midnight, like we used like 120 amp hours of battery between like 5 o'clock and 5 this morning. So big battery draw last night. So we'll see if we can get charged back up. the last of our neighbors leaving. This is El Padrino RV Park. And here in San Padrino, it's just like a 5-minute walk into town. So really convenient. And we pay 200 pesos a night to be here, which is just over 10 bucks a night. That includes usage of showers, I mean all the facilities. The water seems like it comes from a well, not sure, but they're pumped up to these water tanks that are on these towers all over the campground. And water pressure is not great, but water does exist. And this owner is kind of improving this place by planting a bunch of trees. There's a bunch of citrus trees right here. And he's got like a chicken coop over here with a bunch of chickens in it. And he's right up against like the Palm Oasis, but not on the water, so he didn't get that much damage. When we first came here, there's two sides of this campground. This side is more established over here, near the front. And we opted to camp over here on this side, which is like hardly has anything. But the manager did run a long extension cable over to us, so I was able to plug in. And mainly because we're running Starlink, you know, and Starlink takes up a lot of power. I did some measurements, and it took, for my inverter, not counting the inverter loss, it took 870 watt hours in the 24-hour period. So if you factor in about 15% of conversion loss, it's about a kilowatt hours worth of power that it uses. So without electricity, we really have to conserve. But since we are plugged in here, I just let Starlink run all day, 24 hours, which has been nice. It's a little dusty. Pretty much everybody here, with the exception of this one, came here after we got here. There's a couple of bigger 4x4 trucks, one from British Columbia, one from Germany, and then there's a 4Runner towing a trailer over there. So these are the only people that are left, and we're gonna leave today. But San Ignacio has been great. We went in town for Marlene's birthday. We ate at Rancho Grande, which is one of the more seemingly popular restaurants in town. Food was just okay, but you know, it's nice atmosphere. It's right by the square. This has a really traditional town square, which is really nice, and also very authentically Baja, right? It hasn't been kind of overrun by expats from US or Canada. So you know, this is it's probably one of the last towns like this before you get to towns that are easier to get to from the south. What we like about this middle part of Baja is people who are coming down from the north generally doesn't come this far down, starting at like Guerrero Negro, probably down to Mulahay. These few cities, these few little pueblos in between these this area is, I would say, the best area if you want, you know, less sort of tourism. Everybody who comes here have driven down here, because if you want to go to, if you fly down, you can fly either to like Tijuana, Ensenada, or you can fly to like La Paz or San Jose del Cabo. La Paz, this is a little far to drive to going north. There's also a little far to drive to coming from the north. So yeah, we enjoy this area a lot. They're right over us, some of them. Right there. Vulture flock. What are you guys looking for? Roadkill? Let me show you guys around El Padrino a little bit. This is our electrical hookup.
That's all plugged.
We just run our cable all the way over there. Basically, it just runs our Starlink. There's a puppy that we just saw today. I don't know where you came from. You haven't been here these last 2 days. Oh, is it a girl?
Yeah.
Okay.
Over there is where the showers are.
Okay. Do you want to go see it?
Okay.
Okay. They have a few hotel rooms right here. If you come here on a motorcycle or something and don't want to tent camp. Here's this used to be, I think this used to be a restaurant, but now it's just kind of common area for people that camp here. Oh, and the frog. Yeah. You like this frog?
Yeah, it's a frog. It's a frog.
It's a frog. We haven't really taken advantage of this common area, mainly because, you know, if we're gonna hang out and sit, we want to be close to our Starlink. And over here they do have Wi-Fi, but I don't know how good the Wi-Fi is. But there has been a few people that came over without internet access that have used it, and they seem to be relatively happy with it. So let me give you a view of the common area in here. There's some tables. That's the counter that used to be maybe where you would place your order and pay. Basically just a big palapa. Really nice. So let's go see they're pretty rudimentary showers. There's 4 stalls, and I think water is fed just like the other ones. It's fed from a big tank above. So water pressure is not great, but if you're the first person to take shower, after the heater has time to heat it up a little bit, it does get pretty warm.
Number 1 is the best. It doesn't have too big of a glob or any spiders. Or when we did it.
Number 1 has the least spiders.
Yeah, that one has a giant long legs.
There's definitely spiders in here. I think. Let's just see number 2. All right, pretty nice. Freshly painted, looks like. Has a shower or a towel rod, which the other place didn't have any place to hang stuff.
Curtain.
And the curtain, yeah, it's nice. And then the bathroom's right there, which it's just 2 toilets separated by stalls, no sink.
There's also a faucet right there.
Yeah, there's a faucet outside. That's what I've been using to fill up water. There's also a little tienda, little store, right at the entrance.
6.
It's a 6, which is one of those chains. It's got some like bags of chips and stuff, but mostly it's a place for people to buy beer. I think that's pretty much what they probably sell the most. Just a place for cold cervezas frios.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you.
To me.
Happy birthday, dear Mom. Happy birthday to you.
Yay! COVID free.
COVID free.